You cannot escape your past. There is a hard truth that most people learn too late. You do not escape your past. You can run from a place, you can bury your name, you can hide your scars. You can build a new life and pray that the old one stays dead. But the past does not die because you stop looking at it. It waits, it lives in memory, it lives in habits, it lives in shames. That is why Kratos matters, because his story is not really about power, it is not even really about revenge, it is about a man who tried everything: rage, destruction, distance, silence, and in the end he learned the one thing that those paths could never teach him. You do not escape your past, you face it, you carry it, you learn from it, and then, if you are strong enough, you stop letting it command your future. Kratos began as Spartan. Before he was a god, before he was a father, he was a soldier shaped by war and duty. In his early life, he was tricked by Ares into killing his own family, after which he swore to avenge them and broke his blood oath to the god of war. Another story says that once Ares had saved him and his army from defeat, Kratos became Ares' servant, was tricked into murdering his family, and then began seeking both vengeance and redemption. This is where the wound begins. Kratos is not haunted only because terrible things happen to him. It is haunted because he acted, he chose in desperation, he served power, he became a weapon. Then he lost the people he loved the most by his own hand, even if he was deceived into it. That is why his pain is so heavy. It is not only grief, it is guilt, and guilt is different. Grief says something was taken from you. Guilt says part of that ruin came through you. In the Greek saga, Kratos tried to answer that pain in the most violent way possible. He has a path, he has a quest for vengeance. He goes after Ares, then climbs all the way to Olympus to destroy Zeus, and well, the pattern is clear. Kratos treats the past like an enemy outside himself. If Ares caused the wound, then kill Ares. If the gods betrayed him, break the gods. If Olympus stands above his suffering, bring Olympus down. And yet, none of that frees him. That is the great failure of the old Kratos. He can kill the source of the anger, he can drown the world in punishment, but when the killing is done, he is still there, still carrying the memory, still carrying the rage, still carrying the shape that pain carved into him. The war changes the world around him. It does not heal the war inside him. That is why the Norse era matters so much. The new God of War does not begin with a Kratos as a conqueror. It begins with Kratos as a man trying to live outside the shadow of the gods. A man outside that shadow, adapting to unfamiliar lands, facing new dangers, and getting a second chance at being a father. Atreus, his son, is a mirror of the humanity Kratos lost, and Kratos is forced to control the rage that had defined him for so long. That is not escape. It looks like escape at first: new land, new myth, new life, a cabin in the woods, a sun, silence, but really it is concealment. Kratos does not arrive in the Norse world healed, he arrives hidden. He speaks little about Greece, he does not want Atreus to know who he was. He does not want the void shaped by that old fire. He is not trying to erase the past, he is trying to keep it contained. He wants the damage to stop with him, and that is deeply human. A lot of people do this. They do not process the old wound, they do not name it clearly, they do not make peace with it. They just try to become quiet enough that they stop speaking, but it never really stops. It waits for a moment of fear, a moment of pressure, a moment where the old self becomes useful again. Kratos carries that exact fear through the Norse story. He must decide whether he will be chained by fear and repeating his mistakes or breaking free of his past and to be a father Atreus needs. That is not a side detail, that is the heart of the character. Kratos is not simply fighting enemies, he is fighting repetition. He is afraid that his story will become his son's future. This is where Kratos becomes more than a tragic warrior. He becomes a father trying to interrupt inheritance. He knows what rage can do, he knows what pride can do, he knows what happens when pain is turned into identity. So his great struggle is no longer how do I destroy what hurt me, now it is how do I keep my son from becoming me. This is why one detail from the game is so important. Before entering hell to save Atreus, Kratos returned for the Blades of Chaos, the weapons tied most directly to his bloody service to the Greek gods. The blades were a symbol of his servitude and bloodshed, and Kratos chose to acknowledge this past for the sake of saving his son by equipping them again. That moment is not just fan service, it is philosophy. Kratos does not move forward by pretending the old self never existed. He moves forward by taking responsibility for what the old self still means. That is the shift. In Greece, the past was a wound he tried to answer with force. In the North, the past becomes truth that must finally admit. Not erase it, not excuse it, use it as a warning, use it as a memory, use it as a thing that teaches him what must never happen again. That is why Kratos feels inspiring now in a way that he never did before. Old Kratos was powerful, new Kratos is difficult, for it is difficult to control rage when rage once gave you purpose. It is difficult to be gentle when violence once solved everything. It is difficult to guide a child when your own life is built from blood and ash. But that is exactly what makes him matter. Kratos do not become inspiring because he turns innocent. He becomes inspiring because he does not. He remains a man with an awful story, a man with real guilt, a man with memories that do not go away, and still, day by day, he tries to choose better. The idea reaches its clearest form in Valhalla, an epilogue that follows Kratos on a deep personal and reflective journey after Ragnarok, where he entered Valhalla to overcome trials within himself and face echoes of his past. Then Kratos sees a path for himself that never thought possible before, that matters because it shows the final stage of his growth. He is no longer only surviving the past, he is no longer only hiding from it, he is walking into on purpose. And that is the final lesson of Kratos. The past cannot be ignored. Ignoring it does not make it smaller. Silence does not make it weaker. Distance does not make it disappear. If anything, the thing that we refuse to face gains more power over us. Because what stays unnamed stays in control of us. Kratos learns the opposite. Learn to name it, remember it, carry it honestly, then refuse to obey it. That is why you cannot escape your past is not a hopeless line, it is a maturation line. To say, this happened, I did this was done by me, this changed me, and now I will not let it decide everything that comes next. This is Kratos, not a man freed from his past, a man who learned that freedom begins when you stop running, because the past will always be there, but it does not have to be your master. It can become your warning, your memory, your burden, and your teacher, and maybe that is the most human victory Kratos ever earned. Know that he killed gods, that he finally learned how to live with himself. And if you like this video, I will leave you with why impossible trials change your brain. As always, thanks a lot for being there, and I'll see you next time.